Good evening. I'm Sally Buemi, the third selectman here in North Haven, and today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. The first thing that I want to do is I want to express my condolences to the family and friends of North Haven firefighter paramedic John Beisko, who died suddenly just a couple of days ago. John served as a firefighter paramedic here in our town for 14 dedicated years. He served with distinction and professionalism. I want to express my condolences to the entire North Haven Fire Department and their families. Tragically, this is the third loss of a firefighter in 3 years. With that said, I want to welcome you to this edition of Speaking Freely with Sally. Usually I have someone here with me, perhaps someone who is running a business in town or a nonprofit, but tonight I wanted to talk about the Democratic primary. As I said, this is September 3rd, and the primary has already started because of early voting. Because Mr. Frieda is running unopposed for re-election this year as our first selectman, this Democratic primary is essentially for the third selectman seat, which I currently hold. Early voting started yesterday, September 2nd, and will continue through Sunday, September 7th. All early voting takes place at the Rec Center on Lindsley Street, right across from the police station. The actual primary date is Tuesday, September 9th. And on that date, again, Tuesday, September 9th, all polling places will be open. The Rec Center plus the 4 elementary schools. So on that day, you would have to go to your usual polling location. The polls will be open on September 9th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you must be a registered Democrat to vote in the Democratic primary. That's the rule. We have closed primaries here in Connecticut, so you must be registered with the Democratic Party to vote in this primary. As I said, I am the incumbent third selectman. I've been serving for 12 years on the Board of Selectmen, and as such, I am the longest serving Democrat on the Board of Selectmen. My opponent is Mr. David Cohen, who was endorsed by the Democratic Town Committee. So why is there a primary? The easiest answer is that both myself and Mr. Cohen want to serve as third selectman for the next 2 years. I met with David Cohen back in January. At his request, we met at McDonald's, just one-on-one, and he told me he had great respect for me. He was very polite. He said that he thought I was doing a good job, but that he wanted to seek the third selectman spot. I said, okay. I explained that I will also be running. I enjoy my work on the Board of Selectmen. I work very hard helping my hometown. And Mr. Frieda had already announced that he was running again. This is back in January when I met with Mr. Cohen. We already knew that Mr. Frieda was running again for first selectman. So I felt very strongly that I must continue because I am the best qualified and most experienced with working collaboratively with Mike Frieda and Bill Piper, our second selectman, for so many years. I think overall the people are satisfied with the status quo. And, well, maybe they're not so happy about the recent tax increases, but I think overall people appreciate how well Mike Frieda and I work together. But equally, I think they appreciate that I will offer different viewpoints, and I am not afraid to speak up when I think that something has been done improperly or perhaps in violation of our town charter. And ladies and gentlemen, that is not an easy thing to do. Mr. Frieda is very popular here in North Haven. I've said many times that Mr. Frieda is the hardest working mayor or first selectman here in Connecticut, and I mean that. I've said it often. And Mr. Frieda likewise has said that I have set a new standard for all future third selectmen. And he included himself because he once served for 2 years as third selectman. I think that I have supported most of Mike's initiatives, and I have certainly contributed positively to many of his policies. I've helped considerably with writing some of our ordinances and worked collaboratively with the town attorneys. It takes some time, years, to develop that positive working relationship. And that is why I want to continue to serve. At our meeting back in January, Mr. Cohen told me that he would be getting the endorsement, and I knew that he most likely would be getting the endorsement by the new Democratic Town Committee. He promised that he would not run a negative campaign, and I promised him that I would run a primary. So that's the answer to why we're having a primary. I had to go door to door in 100-degree heat to get 221 signatures. I had a couple of people help me out, but it was very hot, and I was able to get 288 signatures. And so we do have a primary going on. I was notified by the DTC on July 3rd that I was not going to get the nomination, and that was really no surprise. And I was told that it was because the DTC collectively decided that they wanted to go in a new direction. So I wondered about that new direction. They have no candidate for first selectman, and I think that it's difficult to change directions, to change your direction without at least a challenge to the top spot, as difficult as that may be. I've been fighting for fiscal accountability and seniors and veterans, working families, but the DTC wants a new direction. As a centrist Democrat, I fight each budget season for controlled spending, fiscal accountability, and efficiency in an effort to at least try to minimize mill rate increases. But the DTC wants a new direction. For 12 years, I have advocated for and protected the environment and open space, and I work hard to make sure the majority party follows the rules. And I keep people informed with my column called I Was Just Thinking, and with this TV show, Speaking Freely with Sally. But again, the DTC wants a new direction. The DTC did nominate David Cohen, but he has no experience serving in town government. I have no doubt that he is a good man, no doubt at all. But I can't remember any Board of Selectmen member who did not have some prior experience first before going on to the Board of Selectmen on some other board or commission, either elected or appointed. I served not only the 12 years on the Board of Selectmen, but prior to that, I served for 4 years. I was elected to the Board of Finance, and I also served 2 years when I was appointed to the Community Services Commission. I am also asked why I am a petitioning candidate, and that's a pretty simple answer. It's because I really want to continue as third selectman, and I wanted to take advantage of every opportunity to get reelected. A petitioning candidate is not affiliated with any party, and frankly, I'm quite surprised that Mr. Cohen also did not seek a nominating petition spot on the ballot. It's kind of an insurance policy, because when you know that you're going to have a primary, and back in January, we both knew we were going to be primarying against each other, If you know that, it's always a good bet, kind of like Candidate 101, to reserve a spot on the ballot as an unaffiliated petitioning candidate. If I win the primary, I will not be on the ballot as a petitioning candidate. So there's been some criticism of me saying that I will be on the ballot as an independent. I think they mean unaffiliated, which is different. No matter, I will have a spot on the November ballot, no matter how Democrats vote. That's not true. Both myself and Mr. Cohen are seeking the Democratic nomination. If I win the primary, I will not be on the ballot as a petitioning candidate. I just did it to make sure that I would have every option that democracy allows to get elected. And that's why I did that. I want to talk a little bit about education, because there's been a lot of criticism of me from my opponent and from his supporters, claiming that I do not support education. In fact, his flyer says our current Democratic selectman fights tooth and nail against adequate funding for our schools. That's simply not true. During my tenure on the Board of Selectmen for the past 12 years, only twice did I suggest, during budget formulation process, that is every winter from January through April, only twice did I suggest that the Board of Education's requested increase be reduced by $200,000. Now remember, their budget back at that time was around $62 million. I didn't think $200,000 was that much of a concession to make. They would still be getting a $2.7 million increase, even if they did take that $200,000 reduction. So if you hear that I cut funding, that's not true. Twice I recommended small reductions in their increase. I know that the Board of Education budget must increase every year. They have multiple contractual obligations. There are inflationary factors, and I know that they need more funding every year. And in fact, in the 12 years that I've been on the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Ed budget went from $46 million, which it was in 2013, to $68.5 million right now. That is a 45% increase during the time that I have been serving as part of this government. And I am part of this government. And I have a lot of experience with the Board of Ed. I have served as a substitute teacher for the North Haven Board of Education. I was a volunteer worker for the Future Problem Solvers program, an excellent program, used to be run by Mr. Marak. I had a great time working with him. I was a tutor for the North Haven Board of Education, an American history tutor. I've been a booster for the athletic program for 40 years. I am a supporter of the North Haven Board of Education. I graduated from North Haven High School in 1974, and I am a very proud graduate of North Haven High School. And so the challenge that the criticism, I should say, is unfounded, that I do not support funding. Just twice I challenged a little bit. I have been a little tough on the Board of Ed when it comes to transparency, but it's not about funding. It's about reporting. And if you watched the August Board of Finance meeting just a couple of weeks ago, you heard our annual audit report. And it was an audit report for fiscal year 23-24, which ended June 30th, 2024. We were not able to give that. They were not able to produce that audit any earlier because of delays in obtaining Board of Ed reports. And if you watch that meeting and you listen to our new auditor, CLA, you heard them talk about material deficiencies, and that's a pretty serious auditing comment. If you have material deficiencies in Board of Ed reporting, they're not filing their reports monthly as required, and when they do file reports, many of them are inaccurate. I'm not saying that. I knew that, and I've been critical of that, but the auditors confirmed that a couple of weeks back. And so, yes, I have been critical of the Board of Ed administration for their failure to file required and appropriate financial reports. Those reports are necessary when the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen are considering the Board of Ed's future budgetary requests. We didn't have that this year. We didn't know what happened the last completed fiscal year. We didn't have the numbers. So I will admit that I have challenged the transparency on occasion. But I am overall a supporter of fiscally responsible education funding. So I wanted to clear that up. I think that the majority of the 4,400 Democrats in North Haven are very similar to me, socially progressive, but yet they believe in fiscal restraint, fiscal accountability, efficiency. They want efforts to control spending. In 2019, our town budget cracked the $100 million mark for the first time ever. 6 years later, this year, it's at $137 million. If we continue on that rate of increased spending, our budget will be over $200 million in 6 years. We need to think of better ways to provide our services to our citizens. I've proposed some regionalization ideas, which Mr. Frieda has acknowledged. Some services are regionalized already. We need to take a look at how we provide our services to make them more efficient. And I believe the vast majority of Democrats support that kind of thinking. And so I urge all Democrats to come out and vote on September 9th in the primary. And I hope that you will support me. I hope that you think I've been doing a good job, that I've been working collaboratively with Mr. Frieda, and that I offer opposing viewpoints, which is a good thing for this town. So please come out and vote. I want to close on a different topic, if I may. I want to wish Kevin Glenn, who served as our chief of police for about 5 years, I want to wish him well. He's leaving the North Haven Police Department, and he's taking a position as chief in Old Lyme. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. I want to also extend best wishes to our current deputy chief, Andrew Stavridge. I hope I'm saying that right, who will be our new chief. And also my best wishes to current Captain Joseph Wozniak, who will be our new deputy chief. The swearing-in ceremony will be on Monday, September 8th. I look forward to attending, and I wish them all great success in their new positions. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much, and good night.